Hello and welcome. This is episode 102 of WatchMojo, and today I have the top 10 thrash metal top 10 albums in thrash metal history. Thrash, I'm looking it up now. The thumbnail is Kill 'Em All from Metallica, of course, one of the first thrash albums ever. What else is gonna be on this list? You gotta have some Exodus, Bonded by Blood. Of course, you gotta have the big four: Among the Living from Anthrax, Rust in Peace from Megadeth, Raining Blood from Slayer. That is probably gonna be number one. Master of Puppets by Metallica, or maybe Kill 'Em All because it was the first one of the two. You gotta have the big four on there. The Legacy from Testament. Yeah, maybe Arise from Sepultura, but they're more they're death/thrash metal, so maybe they're gonna be on the list. Probably not, but we're gonna see the entire big four, of course. The Years of Decay from Overkill. Those are some thrash metal picks. Yeah, maybe some of them are gonna make the list. Probably the big four is gonna make the list easily, but we're gonna see. Yeah, let's just watch the video and we're gonna see what's on the list. But probably most of the things I said on my predictions. Children, Black Sabbath is not thrash metal, so fuck off.
There's the big four and so many more.
Misfits, they're more punk rock, but alright.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our
Exodus.
top 10 important albums in thrash metal.
Oh yeah!
For this list, we're only limiting our entries to the thrash metal genre, so death metal and heavy metal are out. We will also be limiting our scope to one entry per artist.
This is Overkill.
Number 10.
Yeah, the Years of Decay. Overkill is a very iconic and classic thrash band, so I personally thought that they were gonna be way higher than number 10, but they are on the list, so I'm happy.
The Years of Decay, Overkill. It's time to Overkill. The band's fourth album out of 18 full-length releases so far, The Years of Decay helped build this band's popularity in the thrash metal genre with tracks like Time to Kill and the album's title track. Experimenting with a longer songwriting style and epic speed riffs, the record is widely accepted as the New Jersey rocker's best release. Considered by experts as one of the first thrash metal bands on the scene, The Years of Decay will have you riffing like never before. Number 9. Alice in Hell, Annihilator. These rockers from our Great White North sure do know how to annihilate the thrash genre. Serving as the band's debut album, Alice in Hell pushes the genre to the next level by mixing in progressive, thrash, and death metal while crafting a truly unique blend.
Oh, it sounds good.
Thanks to the technical skills of guitarist Jeff Waters, Alice in Hell shreds from beginning to end. Lyrically, the band also plays around with different themes across the album, from intellectual tracks such as Alice in Hell to the thrillingly violent Welcome to Your Death. Proving these Canadian rockers are as fast-thinking as they are fast-riffing.
Yeah, from what I've heard from this band, they do deserve to be on the list, but Overkill needs to be way higher. Number 10 is bull.
Number 8. The New Order.
Testament.
Testament.
You gotta love some Testament. Killer band.
Berkeley, California, Testament released their second album, The New Order, in 1988, and it is a consummate blend of headbanging guitars and gut-wrenching vocal work. Chaos that is Into the Pit, or the thrashed up version of Aerosmith's Nobody's Fault, The New Order is considered by both fans and critics alike as a perfect follow-up album.
Yeah, some people are gonna say, of course, that the Legacy is better, their debut album, but of course you cannot go wrong with the follow-up album as well, The New Order.
The record eventually reached Billboard's Hot 200 chart, reaching 136, and is still the band's longest charting album, while many songs from them are still played live today by fan demand.
How is this called? Sound of Perseverance?
Number 7.
Symbolic. Nah, it's... They said in their beginning that this was not going to be on the list because it is death metal. So I don't really understand why Symbolic is on the list. Don't get me wrong, one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. But Symbolic is a death metal album, so it shouldn't be on the list. So you better explain yourself, WatchMojo.
Symbolic, Death.
But yeah, Death, one of the best bands ever. And this is actually the first time I believe I've ever seen WatchMojo talking about Death, so there we are.
Welcome to the extreme side of thrash metal. Released as the Florida Metalhead's 6th album, Symbolic pushes the already thin limit of thrash metal with a fearful, visceral force.
It is really difficult for me to pick a favorite. I'm really struggling between Symbolic and Sound of Perseverance, their last 2 albums. It's really difficult to choose a favorite one, but shit, I'm tempting to choose Symbolic, but then listening to Sound Perseverance again, it's really difficult for me. But yeah, Death is just a band you cannot go wrong with. They don't have a stinker in their discography. Listen to Death. Death is so fucking good.
Beginning with the pain and chaos-filled vocals and ending with the death metal riffs emitted by guitarist and vocalist Chuck Schuldiner, Symbolic was a major step forward in the art of extreme metal.
That breakdown of Symbolic was so fucking magical.
While the band later disbanded as a result of Chuck's passing, his vocal talent earned this record its spot as one of the greatest extreme metal albums to date.
Yeah. The Crystal Mountain. Yeah, just Death, man. The best extreme band ever. No doubt. I've recently watched some Death and Raw and live in Eindhoven. That is of course a Dutch place, and I'm from the Netherlands. We call it Eindhoven, but there we are. They have played in the Netherlands in '98 when I was born actually, so that is a coincidence right there. And yeah, I've watched it and it is amazing. 5 out of 5 stars if you want to know my live album rating. Yeah man, Death is just amazing. One of the best bands ever, and yeah, rest in peace Chuck Schuldiner. I didn't know why I left, but just rest in peace Chuck Schuldiner. You are still to this day the best guttural vocalist ever, and also with Symbolic having made the best extreme record ever. And that's probably never gonna be beaten, so there we are. This is Beneath the Remains from Sepultura. I actually thought that Arise was gonna make this list, but Beneath the Remains pretty killer as well. But I slightly prefer their Arise album. Oh, but I mean Beneath the Remains, such a fucking masterpiece. I mean, just listen how fucking good it is. Just listen to those riffs.
Sepultura. Time to take a journey to the beautiful country of Brazil.
I'm gonna
complete chaos.
Put it up a notch.
Considered a major advancement in comparison to Sepultura's 2 previous releases, Beneath the Remains takes on painful subject matter and tells listeners of the difficulties of growing up in Brazil.
I actually believe that Slaves of Pain is from their no, not fourth. Their 6th record, Chaos AD. If it is, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed at WatchMojo. I believe Slaves of Pain is from their 6th record, Chaos AD. But I can be wrong about it, but I'm probably not. Let's look. Sepultura. No, Slaves of Pain. Ooh, yes, it is. You have a song, Slave New World, which is on Chaos AD, and you have a song, Slaves of Pain, which is on Beneath the Remains. So, ooh, very close, WatchMojo, they got it right, but yeah, very close.
Don't worry, there are plenty of speed guitar solos and riffing to keep you entertained here, as Sepultura developed a unique style of their own in the gray area between thrash and extreme metal. Finally cementing a unique sound on their 3rd try, Beneath the Remains is where thrash and death metal officially collide.
Yeah, I mean Sepultura, although they are pretty mediocre now, but back in the day with Max Cavalera they were so fucking good. Especially Beneath the Remains and The Rise, absolute masterpieces.
Number 5, Bonded by Blood, Exodus.
Yeah, unfortunately their best album, they blew their load on the debut, but what a debut it is, man.
These guys are considered one of the founding fathers of California thrash. Bouncing back from Kirk Hammett's transfer to Metallica, Exodus debuted with this album filled with punishment and mayhem. With quick, expert riffing and violent vocals, Bonded by Blood presents thrash classics such as And Then There Were None and Strike of the Beast. While their reputation was hindered by delays of the album's release, Exodus ever expanded their influence as one of the prominent thrashers of California's Bay Area with Bonded by Blood, which continues to be a primary influence in thrash and death metal today.
Among the, yeah, of course the entire Big Four is gonna be at the top 4, what a surprise, right? Among the Living, from Anthrax of course. One of my favorite thrash albums ever.
Number 4, Among the Living, Anthrax. The first of the Big Four to appear on today's list, Anthrax's Among the Living made a spot for a different attempt at the thrash metal staple. While the album was panned by critics upon its release, strong writing and remarkable guitar work is remarked by metal fans worldwide. Unlike many of the other albums on our list, Among the Living focuses on the lighter side of life, expressing lyrical themes around movies and grim-free topics.
God in a marsh.
If you just want to have fun and thrash around, this is the album for you.
Peace Cells from Megadeth. Yeah, it is more important I would say, but Rust in Peace is the better album, so yeah. But I can understand why it is on the list.
Number 3, Peace Sells, but who's buying? Megadeth.
I mean that opening guitar riff and bass line from David Ellison and of course Dave Mustaine. Absolutely legendary.
Led by the twin guitar attack of Dave Mustaine and Chris Poland, Megadeth's second album outsold Peace by a wide margin. Politically charged and self-aware, the band gave us one of the most recognized metal albums of all time. From the title track's opening bass line to the extreme metal that is The Conjuring, Megadeth grabs a hold of you by the horns and doesn't let go until the final track closes. While it is debatable whether Peace Sells or Rust in Peace is Megadeth's masterpiece, both are
Rust in Peace, easily.
necessary staples of the thrash metal genre.
Hanger rating. I mean, Peace Sells is an absolute classic by this band, but Rust in Peace is also one of the Rust in Peace is one of the best metal albums ever, and although Peace Sells is a classic, Rust in Peace is truly their masterpiece and one of the best metal albums I've ever laid my ears on. Kill 'Em All? Yeah, I'm gonna say Kill 'Em All.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Kill 'Em All. Metallica. Rarely has a debut album been done so well. Blending the speed and lyrical themes of thrash metal with the riffs of hard rock, Kill 'Em All is the poster boy for the genre. By far the most versatile of the big four, Metallica has had a long career spanning decades, making picking just one album from their extensive catalog difficult, especially with
From their 4 albums.
puppets lurking in the shadows.
I mean, they don't have a lot of good albums, but like Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning around Cliff Burton era, that was absolutely legendary.
In the fire, Metallica really was poised to kill 'em all. Before we riff along to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Pleasure to Kill from Kreator, absolute classic German band, I believe. So, yeah, check out some Kreator. They're absolutely legendary, and it is a shame that they weren't on the list. Overkill was barely on the list, so yeah, that really fucking disgraceful to so much classic thrash bands. And I mean, although Def was on the list, and although Def is one of my favorite artists of all time, they're not necessarily trash. So, you know, you could have replaced them. Although that sounds it sounds really mean for me to say that, because Chuck Schuldiner is one of my biggest inspirations ever. He doesn't belong on this list because it is fucking trash and he is death metal. He basically invented death metal. Yeah, of course, possessed with 7 churches, but Death really revolutionized it, of course, with Chuck Schuldiner with his band Death. Act 3 from Death Angel. Doomsday for the Deceiver from Flotsam and Jetsam. Agent Orange from Sodom. How will I laugh tomorrow when I can't even smile today from Suicidal Tendencies. I really don't like this band. I mean that album name alone. Yeah, this number 1 spot was predictable, but I wouldn't put it at number 1. It is an important album though, but not number 1. Probably the most overrated thrash band ever. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that from Slayer fans. But yeah, it is true. You have to admit that.
Number 1, Rain in Blood, Slayer.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this title track is absolutely killer, but what else is on this record? Yeah, of course, Angel of Death, but besides those 2 songs, is there anything really something revolutionary done here? Not really.
Let the Blood Rain. Known as Slayer's crown jewel, Rain in Blood is a thrash metal staple with a proper mix of both thrash and speed metal. Lyrically, Rain in Blood tackles many dark themes including anti-religion, human experimentation, and insanity. The album is
That's
also
audio
Band's
quality,
first
though.
Billboard charting release, carving a solid spot at number 94, while later being certified gold in the United States. Slayer fan favorites such as Raining Blood and Angel of Death, this album is a must-listen for any metal fan. Let the leader of the big four of thrash metal reign supreme.
The leader of the big four is Metallica. I mean, don't fucking shit me, WatchMojo. Slayer is influential and they are one of the most hailed thrash bands, but Metallica's more popular and they're more diverse than Slayer will ever be. So yeah, and Megadeth is better than them also. Yeah, just fuck off.
So, do you agree with our list? What is your favorite thrash metal album?
Pantera isn't trash.
For more riffing top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
That isn't even Raining Blood, fuck off. Yeah, but that was the video. Some really good picks. Of course, the big four was on there. Bonded by Blood from Exodus. Testament album. New Order, I believe. The Years of Decay from Overkill was a good pick. Although I would have put that album a lot higher, but yeah, it is WatchMojo, so you will have to deal with it. But that was the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Do you want to know for more videos like this one? I'm actually gonna look at the comments for a bit. We're excluding death and heavy metal albums, and they add the fucking founders of death metal death. Yeah, that is pretty fucking dumb, I would say. That really didn't understand that as well. Really weird pick though, gotta agree. Death is shockingly death metal, not trash. It is in the name, damn it. Yeah, I mean WatchMojo. It is in the fucking name, come on. Top 10 important albums in thrash metal history. First clip is Black Sabbath. Are you real, WatchMojo? Are you actually real? Rust in Peace is better than Peace Sells. I think. Yeah, that is not even an opinion, that is fact. WatchMojo is that old person that tries to look hip and cool by acting like they know what they're talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna give a like to that. They're just trying to clinch onto everything to get as much traffic as possible. That is WatchMojo for you. But I hope you have enjoyed the video. Do all those things I just said. Thrash metal, do you love it, do you hate it? Let me know in the comments. I absolutely love it if it is done like Megadeth or Metallica or something like that. Anthrax, really love that band as well. I'm not saying Slayer because they're a bit repetitive for me. They're still really good with their Raining Blood album, and of course their debut album Show No Mercy, really enjoyed it as well. But for the rest, it is not really a really good band, really overrated, so there we are. Hope you've enjoyed it, do all those things. God bless, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day, and listen to Thrash. And WatchMojo, although Death is an amazing band, they're not thrash metal. It's in the fucking name, WatchMojo. Fucking hell. When you think the site doesn't get any dumber, they include a death metal band, although they said in the beginning, we're not including death metal, and death is literally in the name. WatchMojo, you're fucking dumb.